Albert Einstein was born 14th of March, 1879, in Ulm, the German Empire. His parents were working class and non-observant Jews. When he was 15, the family moved to Milan, Italy, where his father hoped Albert would become a mechanical engineer. However, despite Einstein's intellect and thirst for knowledge, his early academic reports suggested anything but a glittering career in academia. His teachers found him dim and slow to learn. Part of the problem was that Albert expressed no interest in learning languages and the learning by rote that was popular at the time. School failed me, and I failed the school. It bored me. The teachers behaved like Feldwebel. I wanted to learn what I wanted to know, but they wanted me to learn for the exam. At the age of 12, Einstein picked up a book on geometry and read it cover to cover. He would later refer to it as his holy booklet. He became fascinated by maths and taught himself, becoming acquainted with the great scientific discoveries of the age. Despite Albert's independent learning, he languished at school. Eventually, he was asked to leave by the authorities because his indifference was setting a bad example to other students. He applied for admission to the Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich. His first attempt was a failure because he failed exams in botany, zoology, and languages. However, he passed the next year and in 1900 became a Swiss citizen. At college, he met a fellow student, Mileva Maric, and after a long friendship, they married in 1903. They had 2 sons before divorcing several years later. In 1896, Einstein renounced his German citizenship to avoid military conscription. For 5 years, he was stateless, before successfully applying for Swiss citizenship in 1901. After graduating from Zurich College, he attempted to gain a teaching post, but none was forthcoming. Instead, he gained a job in the Swiss Patent Office. While working at the Patent Office, Einstein continued his own scientific discoveries and began radical experiments to consider the nature of light and space. He published his first scientific paper in 1900, and by 1905 had completed his PhD entitled A New Determination of Molecular Dimensions. In addition to working on his PhD, Einstein also worked feverishly on other papers. In 1905, he published 4 pivotal scientific works, which would revolutionize modern physics. 1905 would later be referred to as his Annus Mirabilis. Einstein's work started to gain recognition. In 1914, he returned to Germany and was appointed a director of the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Physics. Einstein suggested that light doesn't just travel as waves, but as electric currents. This photoelectric effect could force metals to release a tiny stream of particles known as quanta. From this quantum theory, other inventors were able to develop devices such as television and movies. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921. Movement can only be detected and measured as relative movement, the change of position of one body in respect to another. He also said that if electrons traveled at close to the speed of light, their weight would increase. This led to Einstein's famous equation, E equals to mc squared, where E equals to energy, m equals to mass, and c equals to speed of light. Einstein predicted the sun's gravity would bend the light of another star. He based this on his new general theory of relativity. On 29 May 1919, during a solar eclipse, British astronomer and physicist Sir Arthur Eddington was able to confirm Einstein's prediction. The news was published in newspapers around the world, and it made Einstein internationally known as a leading physicist. It was also symbolic of international cooperation between British and German scientists after the horrors of the First World War. In the 1920s, Einstein traveled around the world, including the UK, US, Japan, Palestine, and other countries. Einstein gave lectures to packed audiences and became an internationally recognized figure for his work on physics, but also his wider observations on world affairs. During the 1920s, other scientists started developing the work of Einstein and coming to different conclusions on quantum physics. In 1925 and 1926, Einstein took part in debates with Max Born about the nature of relativity and quantum physics. Although the two disagreed on physics, they shared a mutual admiration. As a German Jew, Einstein was threatened by the rise of the Nazi Party. In 1933, when the Nazis seized power, they confiscated Einstein's property and later started burning his books. Einstein, then in England, took an offer to go to Princeton University in the US. He later wrote that he never had strong opinions about race and nationality but saw himself as a citizen of the world. "I do not believe in race as such. Race is a fraud. All modern people are the conglomeration of so many ethnic mixtures that no pure race remains." Einstein professed belief in a God who reveals himself in the harmony of all being. But he followed no established religion. His view of God sought to establish a harmony between science and religion. Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. Einstein described himself as a Zionist socialist. He did support the state of Israel but became concerned about the narrow nationalism of the new state. In 1952, he was offered the position as President of Israel, but he declined, saying he had neither the natural ability nor the experience to deal with human beings. "I am deeply moved by the offer from our state of Israel, and at once saddened and ashamed that I cannot accept it." On the outbreak of war in 1939, Einstein wrote to President Roosevelt about the prospect of Germany developing an atomic bomb. He warned Roosevelt that the Germans were working on a bomb with a devastating potential. Roosevelt headed his advice and started the Manhattan Project to develop the U.S. atom bomb. But after the war ended, Einstein reverted to his pacifist views. Einstein said after the war, "Had I known that the Germans would not succeed in producing an atomic bomb, I would not have lifted a finger." He was also a strong critic of the arms race. Einstein remarked, "I do not know how the Third World War will be fought, but I can tell you what they will use in the fourth: rocks." Einstein died in 1955. At his request, his brain and vital organs were removed for scientific study.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.